Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's Code Without Barriers virtual meetup. And really happy to see you guys join us on a Sunday morning. And I hope to get, if you all get something out of joining today's session. And today's session topic is about building an intelligent agent using Azure AI services. So today we'll be having Asia Bhagavi, who is a Microsoft MVP and NCT, and she is going to be taking us through the session. Before we get into the session, I just want to share the session is recorded and we'll also share the recording, and there is a certificate of participation to be claimed at the end of the session. So make sure you keep an eye on your chat box, resources, our community links where you can join our upcoming sessions, and the link to be getting your certificate. Okay. That is all from my end. The session, we can get started with Bhargavi.
Thank you, Surek, for the introduction. Let me share my screen so that please confirm me if my audio and video is clear to get
Yeah,
started with.
yeah, both are clear.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for the confirmation. Um, Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining for today. Uh, I am Bhargavi, and I am excited to take you through today's session on implementing the intelligent agents using Azure AI Agent Service. So, this topic is especially relevant as enterprises are kind of like moving towards the simple automation to goal-driven AI agents that what we can think, plan, and act, right? So, that's how this AI agent would be something like will be helping us. And before we get started with let me give a brief introduction of myself. I am CR Bhargavi, working as a senior software engineer, and I am a Microsoft MVP and a Microsoft certified trainer too. And I do have sessions globally, and I do write blogs and articles under C Sharp Corner and many other forums. And I have been serving as Code Without Barrier mentors and few other mentors as well. If you need some kind of like help or any kind of guidance, then please do reach out to me even after the session. Then I would be happy to help you up with that. And this is my LinkedIn QR code wherein you can get in touch with me post the session. So the agenda for today's session would be like we will begin with a quick introduction of what is the intelligent agent, what are intelligent agent and how they are transforming the way that what we work. And then we will deep dive into the Azure AI Agent Service and its architecture, core components, and how all what all it has, and then what does it have, or what do we want to have as a prerequisite and setup that needs to be there when we start with kind of like Azure AI Foundry is something that what we would be seeing. And then at last, we would also be seeing a demo part, and then it would also be followed up with the best practices and Q&A, Q&A session where we would be taking up the questions at last. So to get started with, we have intelligent AI, which has been kind of like so popular in the technology right now. And it is something like an intelligent AI would be a one which would be that can be stated like a system that can perceive its environment, reason based on the input that what it's been receiving, and then what it can act as to achieve the goal that what we have. So, how does this traditional AI, how does this intelligent agent differ from the traditional bot is something like? it tries to understand the intent, and then it would be deciding on how we can decide and how we can build our best to fulfill the task that what we are receiving. Also, so say in case like when you want this particular to be on a lighter note, you can say that this particular AI agent can be a part of like advanced gen AI models that what we have, and then it can be mimicking the aspects of the human intelligence, and it can understand, plan, and learn and respond to you back on the way that what you wanted to have. So, what it happens as an overall thing is like they are becoming the core to everything from the chatbot and the digital assistant to the autonomous enterprise workflow that what they can do. So it just not stop with chatbots and virtual assistant. It takes you up to the next level of having the automation task being encountered by itself. And so what happens here is like it would be having the like the similar Gen AI model that what you have, it would be having the user request, and then it would be having the agent brain that what it has, and like what the generative AI model has, it would be having the memory and tools being added with it, like it has knowledge base, and then it would have different kind of the API that can be integrated with it. Only thing that what it can, I mean, it's almost the similar thing that what it's been like what the generative AI model happens for. But here it acts in more kind of like uh, even more smarter, so that it would be giving you kind of like environment, and then a reason to make decisions, and then it would be deciding on its on its agent code that what it's been there, right? So that's where the part that what's differ from the agent generative AI models and this one. So moving on to the next part, like what can you have when it comes for the real world use cases? Like you can have the various kind of like in um, industry that can benefit from this particular agentic AI. Like for instance, when you have a customer service bot uh, that can now book appointments, or that can file your support tickets or respond to FAQs automatically, or when you want some kind of like internal operations that needs to be taken place, then the agents help you up with employees pulling the data that what's been there, and then it schedules the meeting by itself, or it can also have the automate uh, uh, like it can also have the repetitive workflows being automated, and uh, all kind of like details are being performed using the natural language which has been there. And when we see them helping with DevOps, HR, and even the healthcare, it just shows us like how broadly they can be applied, right? So, in all these scenarios, the application remains the same. Like they would be providing the user input, and from there you would be I mean that would be provided to the intelligent agent, and the intelligent agent would be working on with the reasoning and actions based on the various factors that what they can get with, and from there the goal can be achieved from that part. So wherever you can think like when this particular kind of like use case can be acted with, then this kind of like scenario can be working with that base. So Now we saw something like what does this kind of like uh, agent mean, and then what does this particular use case that what we can use the agent as something that what we saw till now. And when we wanted to see in deep of like Azure AI Agent Service, what it happens is like it it's like a similar way like what we have here. When you compare this flow chart and this flow chart, then you can observe that the intelligent AI is being replaced with the Azure AI Intelligence Service, and all other things remains the same. Like you would be having the kind of like reasoning and actions being performed here, and then you would achieve the goal here, and that's the similar way that what you would be using the Azure AI agent as well. How is it different from the one that what we have is like Azure AI agent service is kind of like Microsoft's own solution for building these kind of like intelligence. And then you can have the goal oriented agents being developed there, and it can combine with Azure OpenAI, wherein it would be providing you a umbrella for planning, logic building, and then execution of the capabilities that what you have. So these kind of scenarios can be handled with the help of like Azure AI agent service that what you have. And then this particular Azure AI agent service will also allow you to have the plugins being possible, and then you can have the APIs being added for it, and then you can have the enterprise tools which can be used for something like sending an email, or when you want to have the generating reports being done or updating the database. Then we don't have to go for uh, normal question and answer chatbot that what you have, right? Like it would now think in a better way, and it would be giving you back the result based on the way that what it can answer you, or it can perform in a better way. So that's where we are enabling AI to do uh, task end to end, and we can use various things like we can have the RAG model for being used for grounding, and then we can use the logic apps, or you can also use the Power Automate to automate the task that what's been added at the back end, or you can write a simple function that what it can decide on, like either in terms of like the coding language that what you have, and then put it under the Azure function, and from there you can have it being integrated here. So when it comes for the architecture flow, you may be in an assumption that it executes as like how does the uh, other agentic AI also works, right? So it is a possibility like the user would be providing the input, and then something like book a meeting and email the notes is something that what the user is being providing. Let's assume that, and what it would be doing is like the AI agent interrupts that and breaks it into simpler steps like planner, and then executes each action using the plugin, and then it would be taking up the different various ways of using the plugin or tools like logic apps, and then it can integrate the same with Azure OpenAI as well, and from there it would be returning the result to the end user. And what happens before even giving us the giving us the result is like it also maintains a memory and context throughout the process so that the agent acts like a smart assistant, not just your rule based bot, which you would be having earlier, right? So that's the way that how it can be used, like it maintains the whole context and it would be giving you back the result based on the format. Like uh, nowadays when you go ahead and see the chat gpt, then you can have the memory being saved for you, right? Like when you give some context based on yourself, then it tries to give you back like memory saved or memory updated, those kind of wordings, and from there it would be trying to give you back the data based on that. And when you go ahead and see inside the memory on what all it has stored, then you would be able to get what details that what it had stored about you, about your prompts, that what you had given, right? So that's the similar concept that what it uses under Azure AI Agent Service as well. So you can also use the various kind of like memory and the grounding concepts like RAG to maintain the context that what you have under the whole architecture that what you have. So for now, I guess the architecture and the basic part of how does the AI agent works is kind of like clear within until this part. If at all you have some kind of like questions, then I would be happy to answer you at the end, or we would be seeing in more deep in the demo part so that you can get more clarity from that moment. Mhm. So we had been seeing something like uh, mm, sorry, we had been seeing about this AI Foundry, right? So the AI agent can be built in the format of the mm, like can be built within the Azure AI Foundry, wherein you have various options being enabled for you, like Azure AI Service and then Azure AI Search, AI Agent Service, or Content Safety. So, content safety is always been added as part of your Azure Foundry whenever you try to use it. So, what it does is like it would be having the details being the prompts that what you try to capture on will always be added with it, and from there you can have the various things being added to it. Like what happens here is like uh, inside the Azure Foundry is it's been designed to change that its platform always combines with various kind of like models that what you have, and then you can have the governance being calculated, like where you can have the Azure AI agent service also being enabled, and then that can be deployed along the various models, and then you can make it to production. So these kind of things can be done with the help of like Azure AI Foundry. And when you to go in deep of what does this Azure AI Foundry does, it like it would be assisting you to connect with the various uh, it would be assisting you to connect with various core pieces of Azure AI Foundry, such as Azure Foundry models. And then you can have various tools being added, like you can have, to touch base on what does this Azure Foundry models do is like you have various models being available under the Foundry models. And what does this model? There are more than 1,800 models which should be available under the Foundry models, wherein you can deploy or you can go ahead and consume the model, and from there you can have the consumption based on that. And then it also has the connectivity to knowledge and tools, wherein you can have the various kind of uh, connectivity that can be done, like you can connect it to logic apps or Azure functions, or you can connect it to Bing or any kind of tool that what you can connect with. And then you can have the identity being enabled for your own agent, like it ensures the security and then scalability, and then it would also make your agent to be like uh, more productive for the production. So how does it do is like with the help of the governance that is being added along with your AI Foundry, it would all be connected, and it also ensures that uh, like it would also ensure that you can have the various kind of like service that can be used by your own model. Like we can see all these things a bit later part. So what it happens is like it would be having the Foundry agent service being also connected, and then it would also have the various development frameworks and toolkits which are being available for you. And from there, you can get your agentic AI Foundry being connected, and you can go ahead and use that. So, coming to the core components of what are the uh, things which the AI Foundry will be having as part of the AI agent is like you have uh, say in case like your agents are being created using the AI Foundry, then they are kind of like a consumable units which can be used, right? And uh, for each of the for each of the things that what you have, then it would be having a right model which would be kind of like added to it, and then it would also be equipped with right tools behind it, like what we saw earlier. And then you would also have the deployment which can be done in secure observable way. It's the similar way that what we had did earlier as well, or what we had seen earlier. So, what does the each agent that what we have created inside the Azure AI Foundry will be having is like it has model been added for it. So, model is something like an LLM model, which would be adding the reasoning and language understanding being added for it, and then it would be having the instruction being given for it. So coming to instruction part, what does this instruction mean is like it would be having the agent's goal or behavior or constraints being added as part of the instruction. Like you should be acting as an HR assistant bot is something that you are instructing an agent. Then obviously there are some kind of like instruction which are being provided to it, and that can be used as part of the input which is being provided to the agent, and you can have the knowledge base being connected with you. And there are various tools which can be added as well along with it. Like what does this tools happen is like that's where the knowledge is being retrieved for. So the knowledge can be retrieved in terms of like the memory that what it tries to store, or that can be in the format of having the actions being sorry that can be in the format of having the actions being calculated, or that can be in the format of like retrieval from some knowledge base. So those details can be performed in terms of like the Azure AI Foundry for the Azure AI agent. So if at all you receive some kind of like unstructured input from the um, Azure AI Foundry's input, that what you have from the user prompt, that and that can be in the format of like user message or system message, or from some, or that can be even integrated with some other agent as well, right? So assume that they are being integrated with any other agent. Then what they would be doing is like they would produce the output in the form of the um, tool result or the messages that what it has. Like uh, you can integrate the tools being added for it, and that can be used for the memory, or that can be used for having the agent messages being added. So it works in that way. And along with that, if at all, they are making a call, that would be having to have a have a retrieval or some kind of like triggers that's been possible, then that would be calling the tools, and from there that would be retrieving, and that would be giving the structured output in that format. So, hope the component part is clear for now. Like there are just four pieces being added for it. One piece that what it would be having is like it would be having the model, instruction, and tools, and the models can be of any any LLM models which can be integrated along with that. And instruction can be in the format of like the input that what it receives, and based on the instruction it would be deciding on the tool that what it can have with, and it would be proceeding with the output on what it has to produce with. So these are the various components which are currently present inside the models. And yeah, like uh, to add on with, you have various models which are being available under the uh, under the LLM models. Like you can have the GPT-4, GPT-4 Mini, or 3.5, which is the Azure OpenAI and LLM. So there are many things which are available from that. So let's see in deep of how does the AI agent service works from end to end, so that you would get an understanding here, and you would get to know how it works when we go for the demo part. So how does it work is like, first is your model selection. So for the model selection, you can I mean, you can always start by selecting a model that gives your agent based on the requirement and the intelligence that what it has to act on. So, what you wanted to do is like you want to choose from a growing catalog of large language models which are being available, like what we just saw, that can be of GPT-4o or GPT-4 or GPT 3.5, or that can be of anything. And there are options which are available like LLM, or there are different ways that what you can select based on the reasoning core that what it needs for that particular requirement. And if at all you have selected, then this acts as the reasoning core of your agent, and it would be powering up your agent to answer the queries that what it can have. And the second part is like customizability. So what you should be doing as part of the second step is like you should be shaping the model. Now that you had chose the requirement, and then you had also chose the model based on your requirement. So you have to make sure that the model will be fitting your use case is something that you should be doing, right? So that's where the second step falls on, which is the customizability. So what you would be doing here is like you would be customizing your agent with either fine tuning, or you can also build in with the help of like having the grounding concepts of RAG being added, and from there you can assist your model being given with various kind of the things that what you have, or it can be with the help of like domain specific prompts as well, and from that you can customize your agent. And um then what you can do is like it would be kind of like allowing you to encode the agent behavior, and then on what kind of like rule um what kind of like rule that what it has been added with, and then what kind of role specific knowledge that what it should be added, and the patterns that what it has from the prior performance. So these kind of details can be added with the help of the customization. And when it comes for tools, there can be different tools that what it can equip your agent to have connected with your tools. Like there can be enterprise knowledge that can be added with the help of like Bing, or that can be a SharePoint that can be connected, or you can also have the Azure AI search itself being connected for you, such that it would be helping you up with various kind of the real time scenarios that what it can have with, or like the logistic apps or the Azure functions, or many things like the API can also be connected along with that. So it is like what kind of tool that what you want to integrate is something that you would be deciding, and from there it would be taking you up to the next part. So, once you are done with these three parts, then half of your work has been already completed. And then the fourth step that what you wanted to have is like the orchestration. So, when we go for the orchestration part, what we want to have is like you are now trying to build the full life cycle that what you wanted to achieve on, right? Like when you see on some kind of like when you see on some kind of like software development part, then you would be writing the code, and from there you have to build the code and you have to test it, and from there you have to move into a production, and from that part you should be working with the users to build the kind of like uh, test cases and all those scenarios, right? So obviously when it comes for AI agent or AI related projects as well, you would have a flow which would be defined, right? So that kind of definition comes in here as like orchestration. So you can what you can do here is like you can have the uh, tools calls being added here. Like the tool calls, can you relate it to the previous slide that what we saw there? Like we can have the various retrieval action memory and other things being added, and that can be the same thing that what you can also have inside the orchestration. And then you can have your uh, retries being kind of like uh, decided whenever you wanted to go with, or when you want your uh, output being logged, then you could be deciding on that particular part. So these are the various ways that your orchestration will be helping you up with. And when you are done with the orchestration part as well, you would be uh, going on with observability, which is your fifth step, wherein when you have uh, like it should be trust and then observability. So when you have the trust being added for your uh, agent, like you should be ensuring that everything has been suitable and reliable for the workload that what you have assigned with. And then you should also be ensuring that there can be a different enterprise grade trust features that can be added, and that can be added via with the help of uh, either Microsoft Entra, or you can have the content filters being added for you, or the encryption, and that can be of network isolation that what you can proceed with. So there are different features that can be added, and you can choose how and where your agent can be added up with, like where it has to run using ba- using the platform based management tools, or you should be using your own infrastructure with your data that what it needs to be added. So all those kind of like trust features has to be added. And then last comes your uh, observability, which is something like your agent. You had decided on everything, you are now secure, you have now connected your data with the different tools, you have now customized your data based on the format that what you want, or you have now chosen a model that would be helping you up. So all these different kind of things are being done earlier, and now when you want to have the same thing being added, then the observability comes in here. And what does this observability do is like it is used for having the logs, traces, and then you can have the application insights being done, and you can evaluate at each and every step that your agent can be working up with. And then when you want some kind of like result that can be added, then you can connect it with the various kind of insights that what you have. So and improve the agents over time, like these data will be helping up with improving the agent, and you can provide us feedback to the agent, right? So that's where this observability plays a major role. So now that you had done with all these 6 steps, you should be asking me on how does the result would be like, right? So how does the result would be something like it would be of more secure, and that would be having some kind of like a way that what you can publish it to your uh, kind of like workflow that what you have is something that what we can assume with. Now it's time to stop here for the theory part, and now let's go back to Azure portal and see how does these things work, so that you would get better understanding of what all we discussed is so far, like what does the tool mean, how you can connect it. So all these things can be seen under the AI Foundry of the agentic tab that what we have. So when you let me start with prerequisite on what all needs to be done as part of having the AI Foundry agentic service being enabled for you. So you should be starting with something like first thing is you have to have a Azure subscription. And once you have a Azure subscription, you should be creating the resource group like what you do for the other resources as well, wherein you would be creating it. Uh, Let me go back here. So you would be able to see a resource with name Azure AI Foundry. And when you click on it, you would be asked to either create some resource based on your needs, or when you want to see all your resources, then you would be seeing all those resources, or it's the same thing which has been available on the right side as well. Like you can have the various resources being created for you, and then when you have the resources being created, the next step that what you have is like you would be like use with AI Foundry is something that what we see. So, to have the AI Foundry being created, the first step that what you have to do is like you have to uh, create one Foundry resource with with a unique name, and then you should be naming your project, and from there you should be clicking on with next and follow the steps based on the format that what you want. So once you have that, it would be taking you up for next um, around 2 to 3 minutes, and from there your Foundry resource would get created, and from there you can go ahead and start using the Foundry from there. Like this is the resource that what I had created on. So when you want to navigate inside the portal, then you can come and click here, so that you would get navigated to the Azure AI Foundry. So that's where we would be creating a resource here, and it would be getting used for. So let's see the remaining ones as well, and then we would go back to the Foundry to make you understand well. So, as part of the Foundry, we have now created a resource, and the second step would be something like we will be having the AI Hub, wherein you can either create a project or you can either create a hub for your data. So when it comes for project, you can have the various projects being created for you, and hub is one which would be which would be like a container that would be acting for the project, and you can have one project. Sorry, you can have multiple projects and one hub for your data, and kind of like uh, that would be integrating everything, and that would be having your data being added inside your hub. So now we have created the Azure AI Foundry and the Azure Hub here, which is like we had created a project sample, and then we had also created a hub over here. So it's now we have to navigate to the Foundry, sorry, Foundry portal. So you can see here, like you have the activity logs which has been added, and then you can have the IAM that what that particular resource has to work on, and then it would be having the various kind of like uh, things which are available as part of the security, and then it would also have the endpoint being added. Maybe just note that it has endpoint for now. We would be seeing what's the use of this endpoint in a bit later moment. So now that we are navigating to the portal. Sorry, this is the portal that what it would get navigated to. Since we want this kind of like uh, Azure portal being given here. I am navigating it to the next tab. So when you go and log in inside the Azure AI Foundry portal, what it would be do what it would do is like it would assign a first is like it would assign some kind of like agent ID that what your project will be having for. First thing that what it does is like it would be having the API key which has been enabled here, wherein when you go and use this particular endpoint along with the key, you can go ahead and use that. And that would be available for all the resources that what you have, like AI services, AI Foundry, AI Open AI. So all kind of things that what you have, it would be available. And the second thing that what you have here is like you have the various models which has been available for your you will be having the different kind of like models which are being available, and out of that you can go ahead and use the model that what you want to choose on. Like, if you had ever used Vertex AI, and if you are someone who is so new to Azure platform, then you will have the model catalog, which is kind of like the similar one where you would be having the model being available under there, right? So from there you would be able to pick that up. It's the similar thing that what you have here. So, or if you are very new to this one, then very new to model and model catalog, then you would be having the way that what the, I mean, you would be having all the kind of like uh, models which are being available, being added here, and from there you can go ahead and use that. 1 second. So, what it would be as part of the playground, you can have the, okay, let us come back to the playground in a bit while so that we would understand that better. First thing that what we would be doing is like, uh, when we go ahead and look back to the feature that what we had, let me take the let me take the like uh, life cycle that what we have. Now that the first step is choosing what kind of model, and then it has to be customized, right? So to do all of those things, what we would be doing, we would have to go to the we would have to go to a agent, and when you click on agent, you would be like, 1 second. So you would be having the various agents which are being available here, and you can go ahead and use the models which are being created. Like whenever you wanted to have the different kind of like models which are being available, or when you want to have the integration that has been available as part of the template, like it would be giving you up with the template which has been available, and from there you can go ahead and use those kind of details for something that you wanted to achieve on. Like this is the first step that what you are deciding on your agent on what it has to act on, right? So you would be deciding from this moment on what it has to do. Now you are creating a new agent, like every time a new agent would get added up, and you can decide on with the when you choose on with at the start, then you would be given an option of what kind of the deployment that what you wanted to do on. This is where the model deployment would be model catalog would be playing as a major role. So now can you relate this particular cycle with what we are currently undergoing. So first thing is that we had chosen a model inside the model catalog, and then we are coming back to the agent, and from there we are trying to create a agent here, and that agent would be having the various kind of like things that what it can do with the model that what it had created on. So the first thing that the uh, what it would happen is like when you create an agent, it would be assigned up with some kind of like agent ID, and that agent ID plays a major role in connection or connecting your particular agent that what you want to bring on. So now you have got the same inside the agent, and the agent will also have a agent name being added for it, and deployment can be with the same model, or you can have a different models which can be done. Like if you select the base models, then you will be having the deployment of various models, like what I said earlier, you have more than around 1,800 models which are being available with help of like both fine tuning models and other things which are being available. And once you are done with both of those things, what you can do is like you can have the details being added, and then you would be able to have the like what we see here, right? When we click on here and when you go on to the next step, you will be seeing the instruction, description, knowledge, and then you would have the actions, agents that what it can act with. So these kind of details are something that what you have to provide as part of the next step. So instruction is something like when you have the details being added for you, like comparing the same diagram that what we have here, these are the inputs that what you provide on to the agent, that how it can act with. So how will it act is like it would be having the user messages being given for it, and then system messages being given for it, and agent messages being given for it, right? So the instruction is part of the user message that what it can give you up with. So you should be giving a clear instruction on how your agent should act like. So what do we mean by clear instruction is like whenever you wanted to achieve something like um, you are a travel assistant who should help in booking tickets, tracking the same, and send the reply, send the booked tickets to user. So you should be giving some kind of like instruction that what you have been added, and from there the agent would be deciding on what kind of instruction that what it has to act on. So when we are okay with the instruction, it should be getting a description on how it has to act on. Like say in case when you have a whole set of description, like this is your step one, this is your step two, this is your step three on this. Once you are done with that, then you have to proceed on with the next part. Like it doesn't know how your booked ticket would be sent to the user, right? So you have to let it know on how does the each step work on. Where it has to go and book the ticket is something that what we have to instruct on. So it should be made to ask like whether you have to book some kind of like air ticket or uh, air ticket or train ticket or bus ticket or ship ticket. So what kind of ticket that what you wanted to have on is something that what you want to get what you want your description to get added on. And once your kind of like uh, details are being given here, and that should be in an elaborated way, and once you are done with that, you would be giving a knowledge which has been added to your data here. So the knowledge can either be uploaded, or the knowledge can either be added as a AI search service. And then Fabric can also be connected. Say in case your data is been already into a some kind of like data engineering job, wherein it had already went through some kind of like cleansing part, and then those kind of details, then it had already connected with some kind of like Fabric. Then you can get that data being connected to your Azure AI Foundry as such, and that can be used for the preview as well. And then you can also connect it to your SharePoint, or you can connect it via the Bing search, like what we said, or Bing custom search that what we have. And if at all you want to plan something for your travel, then you can have a trip advisor as well being connected, so that you can connect that particular part being added. And when you want to connect your data, then you will be giving the details description again, and you would be giving the schema here, wherein you would be having the knowledge base being added, and then you would be reviewing everything, and you would be creating the knowledge base here, like with the help of like add data source. So once you had added here, what it would do is like it would be creating the knowledge source being added here. And then as part of the actions, what you can do is like now your data is being added, your customized data is now being added. Now coming on to the life cycle that what we had discussed, you had customized your data, and now that you want to connect your tools to different like you now have to connect it with different tools, right? So for that, what you would be doing, you would be giving some kind of like action that what you wanted to perform on. So, to make an action being performed, you can connect your data with the help of like Azure function, or you can write a custom function on your own, or else you can connect the Open API 3.0 specified tools, which would be opening up some kind of like tool where you can go ahead and write it, or you can have the code interpreter being added for your action, and from there you can get the details being added inside your data. So you have now added the knowledge and the action that what it has to perform on. Or like what we I mean, I'm just going back and front to the uh, to the deck and the slide here. I mean, to the slides and the portal, because we are trying to relate the one that what we saw here to the one that what we had there. So when we go back to this particular component that what we have, we saw something like you can connect it with the agent as well, right? You can have the connection being established in the format of your agent as well. And we saw that as part of the orchestration that what we had here. Like you can try to uh, have the tools calls, and then Azure AI search, or that can be of anything that what you wanted to have on, or you can also connect it with the task flow that what you have. So um, you can that means that you can connect your part into the some kind of like agent as well, right? So you can connect it to a different agent as well. So This particular agent is 339, and the other agent that what we have is 229. So whatever the agent that what you have created under the Azure OpenAI will be available here, and you can use that here, and you can connect it, and you can give a unique name so that it would be used for connecting that particular agent to here. And what are the different tools which are being used, and then if at all that's been added under that particular agent 299, then that would be added here. And what are the different ways to activate that particular agent? Like you have to go and call this particular thing, or if at all a prompt saying that trip is being planned, then you should be calling the trip advisor agent to be called. So these kind of things that what it can have, right? So those kind of descriptions can be added here. And once you are done with that, you would be deciding on with the model settings, which is temperature and p. Temperature is something that which would be ranging from 0 to 1, wherein when you set it to 0, then it would be giving you a context which would be of uh, which would be something like uh, gives you up with the original data. Or when you set it up to 1, then that would be having the data which is kind of like having the customized one which is being given by the LLM being added for you. So those kind of scenarios can be added. And if at all you want to connect your voice agent, then you can go ahead and connect this as well. So yeah, this is all about that what we can have. And when you are done with everything, you will be giving the agent playground. And when you give the agent playground, this is where you can have the playground option being enabled, right? So you will be coming back to the playground, wherein you can test, you can check what is your agent been acting on, how does your agent work on. So when you click on that particular check in your playground, then that would be coming back here with all your agent ID, agent name, deployment ID, instruction, that what all data that what you had given will be available here as well, along with the testing box which is been available under this particular part, wherein whenever you have something being added in the text box, then that would be stored as part of the thread, that what we saw over there, right? So that would be stored as part of your thread. And whenever you wanted to ask your agent, then you would be questioning here, and that would be giving you up with the response based on that. So when you give something of this sort, then that would be checking up the instruction on what it has to do, and it would be checking up the details that what it would be having up for. So can you see here, like you would be could you please provide the following details so that I could assist you better. We never gave something that what it needs to act on. We just gave it something like it has to just the instruction has been provided for it and nothing apart from that. So it would be getting up the details based on the same, and it would be providing the details, and that would be getting back to the details of what all it can do on. So it's something like an autonomous agent, that what it can have is something called as the agent here. Like it acts autonomously without you giving much information, then that would be working based on the knowledge base description instruction that what you provide on, it would be working in in that way. So That's where the agent playground plays a major role on. Um, I guess we are running short of time. I am now open up for any questions that what we have. Um, and again, this is my LinkedIn ID. If you feel free, if you still have any questions that went unanswered during this session, or uh, you want to connect with me through offline, I would be happy to connect with you. So, are there any questions? I couldn't see any kind of like questions over there. If you feel, if you have any questions at this moment, you can drop in your questions here. I can answer that, or you can connect with me later as well.
Yeah, thank you, Bhargavi, for the session. So far there was no question during the
Um,
session. Let's give them like 2, 3 minutes to type their
sure.
questions if there are any. Um, after the Q&A session, I will share the certificate form to fill out as well. Okay, I guess there is
No questions.
no questions. Okay, I'll drop the certificate link. Yes, someone is asking regarding the recording. Yes, we'll have the recording posted on our YouTube. We will share it in the community. So make sure you join in the community.
Yes, it needs a subscription plan to be added, but at first, what you can do is like with your free subscription, you can try for a limit and not more than that. Even for getting the Azure subscription, then you should be having some kind of like link where you should be like there are few steps wherein you should be having the Azure AI Foundry being enabled for you, and there are links for it. And when you fill that form, you should be getting that subscription being added for your Azure AI Foundry, and you should be able to use that for a certain limit if it's a free subscription. If not, you can go ahead and use that.
We, yeah, I have shared our Discord previously, so I'm gonna share it one more time. Okay, I guess that's all the questions regarding the today's session. I hope you guys had taken away something today by spending a past 1 hour. And again, thank you for Bhagavi to taking the time, preparing the presentation, all of those things. I really appreciate that, Bhagavi, and I hope to see you in the upcoming sessions as well. And
Thank you, Suraj,
thank
for
you.
hosting me. And
Yeah,
thanks all
and
for joining.
thank you everyone for joining, and have a great rest of the Sunday.